Hello and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
And we're here to give you this week's reading recommendations on a brand new comic book day full of big hitters this week. So we've got a lot of really good books to go with. And let's jump right in with a familiar favorite.
Yeah, so we get to the end of the arc here with Absolute Wonder Woman issue 20.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah, and one of the things I've really enjoyed about this arc is, so for the first couple arcs, no matter how bad it seems, Diana always kind of seems to find a way to kind of like win to make it through and save everyone. And this arc has really been about posing the question about like, okay, but how long can she keep that up?
Right.
Like how, like she thought she understood this world. She thought like she was capable of handling anything it threw at her. And this arc has just been constantly throwing curveballs of like, oh, this is my enemy. Oh, maybe they're not my enemy. Oh, this is my enemy. Maybe they're not my enemy. Oh, this is my enemy now. Like it's just like constantly like not being sure like who or what she can trust, not being sure of like what she has is capable of dealing with what's being thrown at her.
Right, yeah.
And this issue kind of all comes to a head. We get it's kind of almost like a cool down issue too in a lot of ways, because we get this like big fight at the start, and then like a lot of the rest of it's kind of like dealing with the fallout of that.
Right.
And the fallout is multi-tiered, and the only people it's good for are the people you don't want it to be good for. We'll put it that way.
Sure.
Yeah, it's we definitely start to get an idea of like where some other characters are going to be going forward, both good guys and bad guys. There's some interesting developments with some of the gods too that I found interesting that might pay some dividends going forward. And obviously, all beautifully illustrated by now currently not Eisner nominee Hayden Sherman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they like there's the whole sequence against the Iron Maiden where it's like these like
around
like
panels,
it's just super cool. And I mean that's something we've talked about in this and other stuff that Sherman's done. Just the way that they do panel layouts is just so cool and just so different from how pretty much everyone else is doing it. That instantly just lets you know you're reading something special. Or even checking out the dialogue.
It's such a cool book visually, both the illustration, but also the coloring. And it's just such a fun palette.
Yeah, Jordi Belair, who I think is also nominated for an Eisner. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's the colorist on this. Yep, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're also up for. Which I mean, really, you could nominate anyone from this book for an Eisner and probably be understandable,
well deserved.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, no, this ends with everyone just kind of being like, well, that happened, now we got to deal with this. Yeah. Like I don't want to go too into spoilers, but this is very much an ending I was like hoping for, just in terms of like, okay, this is now there's consequences for our actions and we have to deal with them.
For a while.
Yeah.
We got to sit and stew for a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being put in a timeout.
But yeah, no, great end to this arc. Super excited for what happens next. Not Ultimate, we'll get there. But all the Absolute books are still firing on all cylinders. No disappointments there. If you didn't get an issue of Green Arrow last week, unfortunately we did sell out. They did already go to second print, so hopefully we should have some more soonish.
Sure.
But I don't know. That one, find it if you can. Hopefully we'll have more for you soon.
It will go to second. I think I already ordered second printings, maybe.
Well,
I don't remember now.
And on a related note, if you aren't signed up for Absolute Catwoman, definitely do that, because that will probably also sell out.
Yeah, I tried to up that one even, and I ordered a ton of Absolute Green Arrow, and we were sold out immediately. It was bonkers, so yeah, it'll absolutely come to second printing, there's no doubt. Very cool. Yeah.
But from one witchy book to another, your pick this week.
Yeah, for sure. So I went with Zatanna, issue number 2. Jamal Campbell back after his miniseries that he did, and continuing the theme from that miniseries of magic and music and mayhem, I guess. I'm going to continue with the alliteration.
Yeah, the whole thing this issue with how they reveal what's been going on, how it ties into magic, and how that can like bind people to places and things to those places. Like, it's just so cool.
Yeah. There is just something about when an extremely talented creator is able to put their entire vision forward that is just mind-boggling. The fact that he can spend so much time on this artwork and also be writing this book is astonishing to me. It is so well done. But I really like the voices of all the characters. Like, they all feel like really well-developed, interesting, intricate characters that are distinct from everybody else. And while, spoiler alert, comic book basically deals with archetypes, and we've got some of those, and, that's why people are like, oh, well, this DC character is just this person in Marvel and vice versa and whatever. It's like, yeah. So, we've got maybe a tiny bit of that going on here, but they all just felt really, I don't know, real and gritty, and gritty is not quite the right word. But,
it feels in a lot of ways less like your standard superhero book and more of like, these are people with like special abilities, and this is kind of like this world that they inhabit, and they like, because there's a whole sequence with Papa Midnight shows up, and he's like traditionally a supervillain.
Yeah.
But in the world of magic, it's a lot more kind of like gray in terms of like how these people view each other. And so that leads to some interesting interactions with him and Zatanna in terms of like what their goals are.
Yeah, and he even kind of very subtly alludes to that fact, but Campbell doesn't over-explain any of it. And I just thought that's the character I was alluding to. And Papa Midnight is just so good in here, like so interesting. And his look, man, when he's leaning up against the wall at the beginning of it, it's just like, oh my gosh, he really put a lot of thought into who he wants this character to be here.
Campbell just has such a great grasp of how body language conveys a character.
Yes,
and that translates to so many people in here. Also, similar to Sherman, great at their layouts. Like this book constantly feels like it's like vacillating between like order and chaos in terms of like how things are presented, but in a really fun way. Yeah.
So the plot thickens, we get a little deeper down the hole, and things kind of take a left turn, and where things are going to get worse before they get better. But it's going to be a lot of fun for us to read about it along the way. All right, well, I guess inadvertently we kind of went all strong female characters this week.
Yeah, in this case, quite literally.
Yeah, the strongest. Yeah,
We've got Ultimate issue 24, the final issue of Ultimates. And this one's very bittersweet. I mean, like all the Ultimate stuff I need has been bittersweet because of how all the things going on there. But this issue, at the very least of all of them so far, outside of like maybe Spider-Man, feels like the most kind of actually getting to wrap up a lot of what it was doing. It's still like it very much ends with like to be like the finale in Ultimate Endgame issue 5, but what it's able to do for several characters here and several of the concepts that the book has been dealing with, I think is just a really good way of, at least thematically, like tying a bow on it.
So there's been a real give and take here, right? We've seen these, how long ago was it when Banner just absolutely obliterated
I think
the
that was
Ultimates.
issue 6.
Yeah, so it's been a long time coming, a year and a half. A year and a half ago in Reader Time, Banner just absolutely murdered all of the Ultimates in the only way that, spoiler alert if you haven't read it yet, but I mean, it was a year and a half ago. The only way that they were able to survive was to use a little timey-wimey blip thing, and as they were dying, they were able to reverse time quickly enough to escape. Okay, so, but they all had memories of dying? Am I recalling that correctly? So, horrifying, right? So, in this one, the true chosen Iron Fist confronts Banner at his house. And then Hulk and She-Hulk throw down in her house.
Yeah.
And things go very differently. But yeah, we've lost some characters that we've become really connected to. Very visceral for me as I was reading it. Not gonna lie.
Maybe there's some people on this cover that don't show up for reasons.
There are. I have a tear-soaked Endgame number 3, right? Yeah,
4. Well, 3 and 4.
Yeah, both. Yeah. But three in particular. I mean, they were both awful. But 4 was a couple weeks ago where I was like, I'm going to read this other title that this same character. I mean, not the same version of the character, but the same character. And then I was like, God dang it! What is going on? That didn't help at all. Mm-hmm. But so it was really cool. I really liked the initial fight. The moves and all of that. Yeah. One was like trying to be the most murderous, destructive, whatever, and the other one was just like, yeah, I'm just going to disable you.
Yeah.
That was really fun. So, yeah. Again, the art in this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Great looking creatures on Monster Island.
Oh, yeah.
It was so cool.
I think my favorite part is there's a running kind of like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like thought of or spoken by anyone in particular, but there's this like kind of running monologue through the book of what is power, like what does it mean to have power, wield power, where does it come from, and how that's conveyed via these characters who are basically extensions of this almost like unlimited power, whether it be Shang-Chi using Chi or the Hulk's using Gamma, like these like well springs of power, and like what does that mean to them and what they want to do with it.
Yeah. No, it was really good. If you haven't been reading this, where have you been for the last 2 years? But
we're literally in the end game now.
Yeah, I know. Now's the time to get caught up. We've got the graphic novel. So, it was really great. All right, well, these 3 books were massive heavy hitters. That means that there were some very well-deserving books that didn't quite make it to the table. What else did you like this week?
Almost made it up here. I made a split-second decision to change it, but
literally.
Yeah, new issue of Feral was out this week, and it continues the arc of they've been captured by the CDC, and the CDC is experimenting on the animals they've been capturing to figure out like maybe we can like cure whatever this like super rabies is.
Ooh,
but the cool thing
got some kind of Secret of Nim kind of vibes.
Yeah, but the cool thing with this arc too is it's kind of like a flip book thing where one half of the book is the cast of Feral, the other half is the cast of Stray Dogs, who have also now been roped into this.
Yeah,
which has its own thing going there because
we just restocked on that graphic novel.
Yes. So that whole dynamic has been super fun. Issue 2 of Red Roots was out this week, which simultaneously like kind of clears up some of the confusion about like what was going on with the 2 parallel stories in the first issue, but in doing so raises so many more questions. Just like, well, where are we now? Like, what is this place? Like, it's a lot of fun. Speaking of mini books, I know you read Corpse Night this week, and
really I'm still enjoying Corpse Night. What could be better than the French countryside and a sweet little girl and her dead, revived corpse dad murdering people across the countryside to try to catch up with Joan of Arc and her army. I know. Throw in Haunted Woods that they've got to go through.
Of course.
That some witch or warlock or somebody is doing terrible things in. It was really good. And again, this is kind of one of those less is more. There's not a ton of dialogue in this. They let a lot of the action in the panels speak for them. So there's a lot of panels where you're just seeing, a sword being swung or somebody falling or arrows being fired or that kind of thing, and so it was really a fun, quick read. We did get second printings of number 1, so if you missed that, because we sold out right away. That's super cool. And then what else? Man, I feel like there was a bunch of other stuff that I was...
the end of Quintesson War and Void Rivals was really good. Setting up a really interesting new status quo for basically everyone.
Yeah.
You got a tease of it in the Energon special, but now actually really getting to see like, oh, this is what's happening next.
Yep, tied it all together. So it was a lot of fun. It's just such a good time to be reading comics right now. Really enjoyable. So let's see. Yeah, we also have the latest Feral graphic novel just came out. That is timely for what we were just talking about. We also got some cool additional ones. There's a guide to comic book lettering.
Which I think is a super neat thing.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where I think a lot of people reading don't really like think about it when they do, but it's one of those things where once you do notice bad lettering, it's just like, oh, this is...
I was reading something the other day and I was like, this lettering is distractingly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't awful. It was like just enough that it was like, I'm noticing this and I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
We also got the art of Todd McFarlane, which technically isn't new. But I can't remember if this is a new printing or what. But I think it came out in like the early 2000s.
I mean, considering the forward is by Stan Lee, who's been gone for almost a decade, I'd say it's at least that
if
old.
anybody could come back from the grave to promote something, it'd be Stan Lee.
100%.
But that's fun too. So.
Oh god, Disney's gonna whip out a hologram Ghost Stan Lee to promote Doomsday, aren't they?
Oh god. Probably. I just spoke evil into the world. I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah. Well, it's your fault when it happens.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it'll be your fault if you miss out on all these great comic books this week. So be sure to get into your local comic shop and pick some up. We love doing this. We love reading comics and then telling you what we think. So we'd love to hear what you or telling you what we think. But we would also love to hear what you think about the comic book. So be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share. And that'll help us get the word out about how fun comic books are to read, and that there's more than, a week that we picked all superhero books, but, we were just talking about, historical fiction and, animal horror, I guess. Yeah. Or suspense. So there's all kinds of books out there, so spread the word. We'll keep reading comics and be back next week with more Pulp Picks. Until then, enjoy the reading.